Hey, welcome to EPN's Rocket Raygun Awards for 2017. This category is all about the best shooter, and there were lots of good ones this year. First up, we are going to hear from the EPN family. So let's hear from Steve, Ben, and Jose.
The choice for me was difficult between Wolfenstein 2 and Destiny 2, the battle of the twos. But Destiny 2 is the game that I played on PS4 and finally got to play on the PC, and that shit is incredible looking. So if you have a chance, add me and we'll play, because Destiny 2 is my favorite shooter of 2017.
People have already forgotten about this game, but Prey is technically a first-person shooter, even though it's got RPG elements, it's got action-adventure elements. It was one of my favorite games of the year, and the fact that you could explore this huge spaceship in a really non-linear way, some great combat mechanics we hadn't seen before. It's not a typical first-person shooter, but for this year, Prey is the shooter that is going to stick with me the longest. It's just, I wish more people enjoyed it as much as I did.
Now, EPN worked with some pretty cool friends to make some fun content this year. We want to hear from them. What's their favorite shooter of 2017?
Best shooter of the year's got to be Wolfenstein 2, right? I mean, do we have to debate anybody else? The story's amazing, the characters. I mean, BJ Blazkowicz is a character you actually empathize with and understand his motivations. That's fine. But then if we're actually just talking about the shooting, as the category would declare, it is so smooth. It is so much fun, dual wielding, running around there, trying to figure out how to take down these different enemies. You feel empowered when you run through and play it. It's one of those games where it's hard, it's a tough game, but when you get going and you get in that groove, I really loved it.
My favorite shooter of the year is one that my wife came to me and said, I need to buy a shooting game for my father. What should I buy? And I'm like, Wolfenstein 2. He's gonna love this game. Blowing the hell out of Nazis, incredible action. It's a one-player experience. It is over the top with a really good narrative, but the action is what keeps you coming back. And I know her father is gonna have a really good time this Christmas.
We also heard from members of EPN's sponsor community, and they've got some great choices for best shooter of 2017.
Best shooter, I gotta love Prey. Arcane Studios, they hit it out of the park with Prey. It's unique. It's mysterious. It's kind of got that BioShock esque quality to it. Love Prey.
Resident Evil 7 on VR. Man, did I love that game. I did play it a bit with the controller. I couldn't handle the VR. It was just way too intense for me. But it was that game is something else. And so yeah, Resident Evil 7 for best shooter.
Best shooter, gotta give that to Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. It's so bizarre in the story and how they clash different things like the Nazis and Black Panthers from the 60s, and it's just a really quirky story. Great action game, great looks. Wolfenstein 2.
Best shooting game has to go to Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. It pretty much took everything from The New Order and just elevated. The graphics, the sound design, and most importantly the story, which in my opinion is probably the best since Spec Ops: The Line in a shooting game, and that says a lot.
We also heard from EPN sponsor Clayton Blair, who didn't make a video but wrote us in some suggestions, some great ones. He gave best shooter to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Even though it's controversial, it still feels like Star Wars. I would agree with that. My pick, though, for best shooter of 2017 goes to Destiny 2, which was a tremendous amount of fun. I think Bungie really delivered something very special there, whether you play it solo, co-op, or competitively. Now, of course, if you go for the end game thing and you're playing thousands of hours, you're probably pissed off at the game. They seem to have lots of controversy about that thing, but I've really dug the game, and it was the most fun I had in a shooter in 2017. But that's not our winner. The best shooter this year goes to Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, which is also an absolutely incredible game. Congratulations to Wolfenstein 2. You are our Rocket and Raygun Award winner this year. And we've got a lot more categories coming your way, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that. We've also got lots of content for you to check out. And if you dig our stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too.